IBM Storage Fusion.
IBM Storage Fusion.
IBM Storage Fusion.
IBM Storage Fusion.
My client is called Bank Invex. When we arrived there, the client is an IBM client already. They have these 8,000 flash systems, tapes, etc. And we heard about the problem that they have because containers in open solutions and x86 servers. They were growing a lot with several servers, several storage, because the growing quantity of containers. They have over 300 containers already, and the development team was asking for more hardware, without a formal solution. So we began to talk with them about Spectrum Fusion, but you're gonna go with not only with the hardware people, you're gonna convince also the development people, because the development people wanted to just be like that, running over VMware, and Red Hat was already there talking about OpenShift. We need to go with the client also and make a teamwork with VMware, because if you, with Red Hat, if you don't go with like that, the client will expect something different of IBM and from Red Hat. We gotta collaborate as a team, go together and make the speech of OpenShift over Spectrum Fusion. About having a single point of contact is very important for the client, not just go with storage, servers, software, calling because of something is going bad. Calling just to IBM is a key part. Also, the bare metal solution to have less licensing and a better performance is a key for the client. Okay, the clients want to be running very fast. The timeline to have this up and running in days, besides to have it in months, is very important for the clients. So we made a POC at first to show the client how Spectrum Fusion could be running. Also, we have several meetings about the implementation. The clients at the beginning, being the first client in Mexico, it was a little frightening for them, but we convinced them about IBM is going to be with them. We cannot leave the client during the implementation just with the business partner. We included several training and lab services in the account. So we have a good implementation, and the client agree after we have an excellent implementation to be a customer reference. That will be very helpful for IBM and for several other deals. I'm very proud about my accomplishments in Mexico. Right now, we are going to Serena in Italy.
Thanks, Poncho. And let me share 3 things I think can be useful for the rest of the team worldwide. What I learned from my Fusion engagement. Number 1 is obviously it's easier to do a deal with Fusion if customer has a stateful application, or he thinks he has stateful application It's not always the case. Sometimes the customers say, I have no stateful application, I do not need data services. It can be true right now. And also the IDC projection says that by 2025, almost one third of the application will be stateful. And sometimes the customer is not acknowledging that they already have some stateful application for which they need data services. So don't stop after the first no from the customer. Second point is, I think one slide that we have in our seismic decks is very helpful for an internal scouting and with engagement with customer. And is the slide about Fusion can run for all OpenShift application. So Cloud Paks, of course, open source and third-party software, as well as custom application. This is really important. My experience is sometimes you uncover new opportunities you didn't think just because the customer sees something or doesn't see something is interested in this slide. So go for it. And third, I think collaboration is key. So collaboration means cross IBM collaboration, account technical leader, customer success manager, software specialist, not only infrastructure people, and then of course ecosystem, because I understand sometimes we do not feel comfortable with Fusion. It's a new stuff for everybody, or almost for everybody. But my experience is the more we engage, the more we learn, and we will be successful. So, Tom, to you.
Thanks, Serena. You hit upon a very important part, right, is embracing the ecosystem, not only internally, but externally. One of the things that I like to keep sight of is let's not lose sight of the greater vision here with IBM as it pertains to hybrid cloud and AI. I've been in a lot of these account planning sessions, and I'm hearing customers wanting to stand up containers and Red Hat OpenShift in the cloud on Z systems, and as well as in the open systems world, so leveraging current storage assets. So I encourage you not to be afraid of that conversation. Embrace those discussions, because there's a lot of value with Fusion can bring alongside those conversations as it relates to the hybrid cloud messaging. Right? We have the ability to run Red Hat OpenShift and containerize workloads and bring the data services that are required for customers to be able to really have the flexibility they need with application portability. Don't lose sight of the fact that customers containerize so they have that portability, whether it's on-prem or off-prem or in a hybrid manner. It's really important to keep sight of. And then furthermore, as customers begin to bring these containerized applications into this hybrid environment, it really enables their ability to interrogate the data so they can go for the next moonshot, right? I mean, that's what it's all about, is being able to take the siloed data, be able to apply AI workloads against it and interrogate the data so you have a smarter customer, more strategic customer, and a happier customer at the end of the day. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Charlotte, North Carolina. Take it away, Bob.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate the chance to share some insights that we learned from our successful engagement with the customer for Fusion. This customer had an interesting journey map. They had decided to go forward with OpenShift. They're a large account with multiple storage vendors. They leveraged their storage vendors against each other. And then they decided to do a POC to see which storage vendor could meld the necessary parts to make a container storage system work for them. Once we heard about the opportunity for the POC and we were able to talk to the engineering team that put their Fusion platforms together, they were very excited to realize that Red Hat and IBM are uniquely positioned to provide such a platform. So we were able to win the mind share. We worked quite closely with the Fusion product team and the customer, and we actually looked out a 2-year roadmap of functionality. The customer needed the container applications to provide. Functionally, they needed a local copy a synchronous copy, and then they needed a DR copy. So their applications weren't ready out of the gate, neither was Fusion. So we were able to partner with them, and they provided us their business requirements. We provided them with a quarterly deliverable of capability, and over that period of time, we've been able to stay ahead of their ability to deploy containers. I would strongly recommend that you identify who the executive that sponsors the move to containers in your account. And if they've made that OpenShift decision, jump in front of that train. Because the idea of working with Red Hat, their applications, whether they're cloud packs or some other large application moving to containers, every application is moving to containers. Once you get them onto Fusion, you now can compete for the software-only Fusion, IBM Storage Fusion, as well as the hyperconverged infrastructure. And at this account, we actually have two revenue spends now, both the hyperconverged infrastructure footprint for bare metal and then their VMware environments. We were able to get the Fusion services to work with VMware, and they are now moving off of NFS from another vendor we won't name. However, the Fusion go forward plan looks pretty healthy for this account. So don't run from it, run to it. If it's an OpenShift account, then you've got a heck of an opportunity and another revenue pump for your account. And with that, I thank you.
Okay, so we started our campaign at a large retail pharmacy within an ELA opportunity. We understood that there were cloud packs and Red Hat OpenShift, and that generated a lot of interest within other public sector customers as well.
At the bank, we had a unique opportunity because once we realized they were committed to container architectures going forward, and we won the POC, I was able to get them to purchase a Fusion HCI for the engineering team. And we laid out that roadmap I mentioned earlier. And next thing you know, we went ahead and developed the architecture with a deployment pattern of one HCI box and one of 3 data halls. They also needed to have a pair of these that they could test on. So my first big order was for 5 HCI boxes, which kind of retired ×2 my revenue 2 quota. And now we're looking at a 3 HCI footprint per data hall. So I got another order coming. It's not to be discussed, but I'll get it before the end of the year.
Nice.
Nice. Being successful at Back Index has been leading to other deals in other banks in Mexico, and we are very happy for that.
Also in Italy, we had the first deal in a banking account, leveraging an OIO contract. These were 2 HCI boxes. The following quarter, we closed 2 additional HCI in an insurance customer. And now we are actively engaged in other opportunities for both HCI and SDS.
Nice.
Fusion.
Fusion. Fusion.
Fusion.
Fusion.
Fusion.
IBM Storage Fusion.